Hello and welcome once again to Paint Prints Art Instruction with me, John Payne. Hey, I am going to cover a little bit of color theory today, and we're also going to make a color wheel, which you can use for watercolor or color pencils, paint, any kind of paint, acrylic, tempera. But let's just go ahead and jump right in, talk a little bit, and refresh ourselves a little bit on color, and then we'll get started. So let's go. All right, so here we go. We're going to go right into our color theory, everything you need to know about color. Well, mostly. So I know we've kind of covered some of this stuff before, but this is just a quick little refresher. So let's go ahead and jump right to the first one. It's words to know. So we've got color, primary, secondary, intermediate, or tertiary, complementary, analogous, tint and shade, monochromatic, warm, cool, and triadic. So let's start with number one, which is color. Color is made of hue, value, and intensity. This is also shown in the color wheel, okay? So we're gonna be building the color wheel, so we'll learn a whole lot about color just in this. There's a big scientific explanation, but we don't need to go through that right now. Primary, this is red, yellow, blue. These colors are the base colors for every color wheel. So these right here, this is what you create. I mean, when you have these, this is what you make all colors from, okay? Secondary, orange, green, and violet. So we've got orange, green, violet. That's made by mixing a red and a yellow, which is orange, a yellow and a blue, which is green, and a red and a blue, which makes violet. Secondaries. Okay, moving right ahead, we're going to go right into intermediate or the tertiary colors. This is when you take a primary color mixed with a secondary color on the color wheel, and this is how you're going to get your intermediate or tertiary colors. You're actually going to name these by using the primary name first and then the secondary name. So here we go. So that would be, where is our red? Red right here. And our orange right here is going to make red orange. Red orange. And of course, my favorite Skittles color is yellow mixed with green is going to give us yellow green. So there are three primaries, three secondaries, and six intermediates. So there's 12 colors in all on the basic color wheel. So the intermediates are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, and red, violet, which again are easy to name when you know the primaries and the secondaries to start this off with. So let's go right into complementary. Complementary colors across from each other on the color wheel. Mr. Red is angry all year and goes across the street to Mrs. Green and tries to pay her compliments. I know it's spelled differently. Compliments to get gifts during the Christmas holidays. That's why I think of red and green. But we also have any color that's directly across from each other going through the middle of the color wheel, such as orange and blue and yellow and violet. So let's move to analogous. Three colors side by side on the color wheel. Keep them directly on the sides. If you try jumping around the color wheel, it's not working out exactly like we want it to. So these three colors directly side by side, moving those three rings around anywhere on that color wheel is going to give you those three colors for analogous color scheme. All right, tints and shades. This is when you're using white and dark to create lighter and darker versions of a color. In paint, you would primarily tend to use white or black. However, in watercolor, what you can use is just the white of the paper. So as you're using the white of the paper, we can actually use the transparency to create more of a lighter effect. And black, you do have black watercolor, but sometimes you can just use darker like violets and blues and really kind of pull some of that cool tint down. All right. Now, monochromatic, using all the tints and shades in an artwork just to create one color scheme. This beautiful piece here is just a green, but nice, cool colors, using the white of the paper to create those light and dark, those tints and shades. All right, so something new we haven't covered yet is warm. Warm colors, colors like yellow, orange, red. I mean, all of this spectrum kind of here. Sometimes you might even be able to use a little yellow, green, and a little red, violet. They kind of blend in. This is going to create more of a warm, inviting, energetic, a lot of energy. So sometimes even fire, sunlight, heat, those kind of things. So warm colors. If you just cut the color wheel in half, that's pretty much what you're working with. Going to go straight to cool color, which is the opposite side of the color wheel. And that's where you're going to get your blues, your greens, your violets. And this is going to try and create more of a cool and relaxing, well, like I always say, kind of channeling your inner McConaughey, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. And now the triadic color scheme. Here we go. This is when you're going to use an equilateral triangle. And it's going to go around the entire color wheel, locking into three colors. This just happens to be primaries, red, yellow, blue. But we could also use the yellow, orange, and the red, violet, and the blue, green right there. Or we can even split it over to orange, violet, and green. So those three colors locked in, that's how we're going to create a nice triadic color scheme. So as we've covered some color, words to know, we know color, primary, secondary, intermediate or tertiary, complementary, analogous, tint and shade, and of course, monochromatic, warm and cool, and triadic. So let's jump right in to going and working on what we're going to be starting with, which is our color wheel, because we're going to draw this thing out and then we're going to fill it in. So let's start with just our supplies. So as we look here, we've got some supplies to work from. We've got a ruler, we've got a pencil, eraser, and a compass. This happens to be our completed product right here that we're going to make. And it's just a base color wheel. This triangle here is going to show us our primaries. This little triangle, dotted triangle, is going to show us our secondaries. And if we wanted to, we could actually even label them around here. So I'm going to get started by creating a wonderful color wheel right here using a blank sheet of paper. So this blank sheet, this happens to be watercolor paper, which is a little bit thicker than your regular paper. But that's what we want to use to actually, use for watercolor. So we're going to start with measuring our paper, making sure it's 8.5 by 11, which yours should be 8.5 by 11. Excellent. But I need to go in and make sure that I'm cutting this paper in half. So I'm going to come right over here and run my ruler at the top section. And what I want to do is move this. If I have 8.5, that means it's 4 1/4. Now that might be a little hard to see. So what I'm going to do is jump right into that image right there, 4 1/4. So as we can see, we've got the multiple little lines after the 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then end up on that 16th, which is the number 5. So that, if we break this into 4s, 1, which is where the pencil is, half is 3, and then another little short line, not too short, is the 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then finally with that 5. So that's where we're going to start our line work. So let's jump right into that. So here's what I'm going to do is put my line down at 1/4, do 1 at the top, and then scoot down and do 1 at the bottom, 1 at the bottom of my paper. Now I'm going to draw really, really heavy so it shows up on the video, but you guys try to draw light. You don't have to draw that super heavy line if you don't need to, right? Let's keep it light and easy. All right, so I have 2 lines, or actually 2 points. So that is where a straight line occurs. The quickest destination is between 2 points. There we go. That is my dividing line of the paper. Now, I can actually rotate my paper sideways, so that way I can get the wonderful imagery of this ruler and this whole line work right here. And let's go to this. Oh, there we go, sideways. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that image, because if this is 11 inches across, what I need to do is find the halfway point, which should be 5.5. And I'm going to put my pencil mark right there just so we could see it. Just so we could see. That was our 4 1/4 mark. Now let's go ahead and take it our 5-inch. So that's the 5.5 inch. So that's where we started. That is what we're going to make the new line, 5 1/2. Notice that the pencil is in between the 5 and the 6. So let's go back and create our 5.5. 5.5. Scoot down. 5 1/2. Again, I'm going to draw really heavy and dark so it shows up, okay? It's also so the camera can keep in focus. So I'm going to go ahead 5 1/2 right here. Let's double check. 5 1/2. 5.5. Yep, sometimes I like to measure several times. And yours might actually go through that hole for the hole punch, which might be kind of cool. Kind of give you a little guide to work from. 5.5. Look, I have divided my paper in half. Quadrants, 4 right there. Next tool, I'm going to put my compass, grab my compass, put my ruler and my pencil to the side. So here we go. Let's get started on actually creating compasses in the safe position. We're going to make a circle that is 6 inches wide. So let's go here real quick. Remember, that's our last image we started at. And now we're going to open our compass up to 6. Open up to the 6. Now, to help you guys out, remember number 6. If your compass is really, really tight and it doesn't open up, you might have to loosen. If you loosen this way, that's loosey. Righty tighty, loosey, lefty loosey. Okay, lefty loosey, loosen a little bit, and I'm going straight to the 6, and then I just tighten it down a bit. Make sure when you start that your compass is even across. If I put my pencils like that, we could see my compass and pencil, the needle are at the same. If my compass is off like this, it will not be even, okay? So let's even them out first and go to number 6. Once you're at number 6, I'll go ahead and drop that image again. That's the number 6 to help you see that. We are going to go right in to start creating our circle. I put the needle on that dividing line right there. And all I'm going to do is draw a nice big circle. Try to hold it down. Notice this what I'm trying to do is hold my needle part, not the pencil. Let the pencil go around and do the work. All right? So we have got a nice circle right there. So why don't we take our compass and just slightly shift it down to the number 4. Put your arrow on that 4 right there. And let's draw another circle. Put it right back on that needle point. And we're just going to draw a quick circle around again. And there we go. We've got an excellent circle set up. So what we can do now, let's practice moving the compass again. Move it back to the 6. Make sure you're on the 6. And what we're going to do is start at each one of these points right here, the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock points. And we're going to go around, and all we're going to do is just make a small arc. Not a full circle, just a small arc. I'm going to start here at the top, put a little line, just a little line right there, put a little line over here. So it's like almost if I was like swinging this circle all the way, making a whole half circle, but I don't need to do that because that's going to be a whole lot to erase, okay? Let's keep it simple. If you do want to do that, go right ahead, whatever flutters your putter. And then that way you can actually have, more to erase. But I mean, some people feel more comfortable with that. But for me, I just like to do a little bit of arc work. 12, 3, 6 o'clock. And then finally, my 9 o'clock. Now, I've got all those arcs right there. I can close my compass. Keep it in the safe position. Boom. Safety. Put my compass to the side. And if I want to count, I can count really quick. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to 12. And now I have divided my color wheel into 12 sections evenly. So let's go from this point through the middle point with our ruler. And guess what? It should line up with that point right there. Let's try that out really quick. Put my ruler to the side, start moving my ruler up, start moving my ruler up. First point, second point, and look, they look pretty good right there. And I'm just going to draw in the little outside circle cutout. So 1 and 2, and I'm going to move my line. Bam. That's all I've got. That's all I've done is that little part. I'm going to continue all the way around this circle, which should divide my circle into even parts. Now you have to make sure that your ruler is going through that center point. Okay, make sure it's going through that center point on your circle. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And, I'm going to check it out and go, hey, that's what I'm liking. And again, not drawing it all the way through. I mean, you can if you want. I just try to make this look a little bit easier. And then I just keep going around. And then through this, try to keep my ruler steady. Don't let it bounce around. Wait, I'm missing one. Here to here. And finally, from this section through the middle and to the other section. Bam! Huzzah! I love it. Now, we're going to take a nice Sharpie and we're going to outline everything. And then from there, we are going to go right into erasing everything out. But we're going to use the power of the internet and just do a snap and have it do it for us. Are you ready? Are you set? And wow, it's magic. And now it's all done, plus erased and cleaned up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I label my color wheel correctly. You will find that as you paint this, it's very easily to get distracted and then place one of these colors in a different location. And well, that's just sad. All right, so we're going to start up here. I'm just going to put Y for yellow. And this is all in pencil because I'm going to erase this later. Yellow, and then we're going to have yellow green, and then we're going to have green, and then we're going to have blue green, and then we're going to have blue, red violet. Oh my goodness. Blue violet, put a B there. Violet, red violet, red, red orange, orange, yellow orange. And if we really want to get crafty right now, we could sit there and go, you know what? I know these are my primaries. So I'm just going to make a loose pencil drawing like here, my first triangle, and then my second triangle. These are my secondaries. But I'm actually going to cover that with a Sharpie. And then that way we can have a nice little color wheel when we're done. All right, and we'll erase all this and it'll look beautiful like this one. All right, so here we go.